Hello, everyone, and welcome to Your Cup of Joy. I'm your host, Ariana Joy Christie, and I am so glad that you are here. This is a space to inspire, to learn, to grow, and to challenge. Get ready to fill your cup and spread a little joy along the way. Okay, Renee Reina, host of the Mom Room, content creator, co-host of Friend of, Jellycat connoisseur, CrossFitter, and my best friend. Welcome to Your Cup of Joy.
Jellycat connoisseur.
I knew you'd love it.
Yeah. It's kind of true, though. Oh, I love that.
Actually very true. Like, if you're known for something, that's what you should be known for.
Yeah.
Because you're really good at it.
Well, thanks for the intro.
Oh my gosh, of course. Thank you for being here. I was talking to Renee the other day and I was saying, like, hey, would you come on Your Cup of Joy? Because we podcast on Friend of Weekly, but we talk all things reality TV. And I actually met Renee. We've shared this on both of our podcasts before at a mom conference. So we kind of started through our motherhood journey. And I feel like you have taught me so many things that have actually changed my motherhood journey for the better.
Aww.
And so I wanted to share some of those lessons that you've taught me with listeners, because if I look back at my early postpartum self, I wish I had known these things back then.
Oh, this is nice. Oh, no, and I love this conversation because I feel like I'm kind of in a different phase of motherhood right now because Milo he'll be 7 in September. And so all of these things that I built this platform on and the podcast on are not my reality anymore, but I like to revisit these things.
Totally. And I think it's so cool because it gives that whole other perspective that you've kind of made it through those early postpartum days and now are able to reflect back and give that advice to people who are in the thick of it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I'm like on the other side.
Yeah, literally. And so I want to talk to you first, maybe start by talking about the term default parent, because you taught me this term. I had seen you post about it before on the Mom Room and on your personal Instagram and TikTok, I think. And it was this big buzzword that really, like, I dove deep into when I was really feeling kind of at my lowest. So can you give a brief background on speaking on the term, what it means, and a bit of a background?
So I started a lot of these things that I talked about on the Mom Room and what I started my platform on, because I was going through all these things and then posting about it on TikTok. It mostly started in quarantine because before that, I was on maternity leave. So my mindset was such that I have no other responsibilities. So, and we had a very good system with regard to making sure that we both got sleep, and we just did it in a way. And to be fair, I didn't breastfeed, so I was able to do that, like get a lot of sleep with taking over like from 6 p.m. till midnight. And then I would take over from midnight, in the early stages. Mm-hmm. But maternity leave was like, I had nothing else going on. And for both of us, that was our main focus, which is natural because he was our first child and we had like nothing else going on. And you're so focused on a baby, especially because they're so dependent on you. Yeah. And then the next phase was I went back to finish my PhD and Milo went into daycare full time, like Monday to Friday. Mm-hmm. And so again, I didn't have that like default parent experience because we were both working during the day. Also, I had like free time. I kind of got a little bit of my life back, like hobbies and things that I was interested in and working towards a goal that I was, working towards. And then quarantine was the next phase, which is where all of these things started to show up and also made me realize that this is what a lot of moms must feel like who choose to stay home with little kids and who have a partner that works outside of the home. Mm-hmm. So then I really started thinking about all these things, and the default parent was one of those things. And I think it was like a natural thing that just started to happen because I was home with Milo all day. And then it's not like my husband would walk in the door and just like completely take over. It was like he would start then doing things that had to be done around the house. And I always felt like if the two of us were in the room with Milo, and Milo at the time was like 18 months old, my husband could just like get up and go start doing laundry or something, or like get up to go make dinner or whatever it was. And I would be like having to confirm with him that it's okay that I go to the laundry room. Do you know what I mean? Like I
Like ask
always had to
permission.
announce my exit
Hmm.
from the room because I was the default person with eyes on Milo and watching Milo. Not that when he was in the room, he wasn't like attentive or like paying attention to what was going on.
Yeah.
It was just like I started to notice this difference. Like he would just get up and go to the bathroom. I was like, what? Like I would be like, I'm gonna go to the washroom. I'll be like right back. Okay. I'm like, why am I doing this? And
Yeah.
it's even like such a weird situation. And like I say, like it was kind of like this dynamic that we just fell into, and it was nobody's fault.
Hmm. Yeah. He could just kind of go and do productive things. Like it's not like he was always just
Exactly.
doing things for himself or something. Like even to do like the laundry or the dishes or clean out the car or like whatever the chores are that need to get done. Sometimes it's nice to be the person doing those things because it's a little bit of a
Mm-hmm.
break from the rest of the day. And so I think you're definitely right. It's that little switch of, okay, I could just go and do it without asking because I'll find myself asking permission to pee.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, hold on. I remember my therapist was like, Ariana, going to the bathroom is a basic necessity. It's not something that you should be asking permission to do, you
Yeah.
know? And it's not something you should be holding in, which, like, correct. My husband would never hold his pee because he was holding a baby. He'd put the baby down and go pee.
Yeah.
But it's like, why? And it wasn't that I chose to do it or felt like I was like a better parent. I just, like, in my mind was like, no, my job is to take care of these babies. And if they want to be held, I can hold my pee.
Mm-hmm. And there's also the difference of, which I think, again, it's like these little things that just like happen over and over again. And then finally you're like, what the hell is going on? Like, anytime that I had to have a shower, I was trying to literally like build barricades in the bathroom so that I could have a shower with Milo in the bathroom with me. My husband never had to do that. To
No.
this day, like if I'm going for a poop, like God willing, love when I have a poop, like Milo's like in and out of the bathroom, like trying to talk to me. I'm like, can I get privacy, please? Like, does my husband ever get bothered when he's pooping? Never.
Hmm.
Never.
And I don't know what it is that makes that happen because it's the same thing for me too.
Yeah. First of all, I don't lock the door. That's like my own problem. Again, like it's nobody's fault. It's just you fall into these dynamics and then you start to realize, like, can I just poop by myself?
Yeah. Or not be touched for like 1 second.
Oh,
Like one
yeah.
second, I don't want someone pulling at me,
Hmm.
you know? It's this weird dynamic that you're right. It just falls into for whatever reason. And it's taxing on a human being. And when it's your normal, when it's happening every day, you don't realize how taxing it can be. And then I found myself to be like enraged or like stressed or like moody. And I'd be like, what's wrong with me? Like, as if I was the problem. Like, I need to sort this out. But actually, it's because these extra things are falling on my plate that other people don't experience.
Hmm. And like the overstimulation is like an actual thing. Like you were saying, being touched all the time, the noise. Oh my
Mhm.
gosh, even Milo right now, like he'll get something in his head and he's just like repeating it over and over again, or like making sounds that like he hears on one of his shows like over and over, and you're just like, oh my god. All of a sudden it's
Yeah.
like background noise and you're not paying attention, and then all of a sudden it clicks and you're like,
Holy
I'm
shit.
gonna go crazy.
Because it's amplified in our head. Like
Yeah.
the mummy, 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 mummy. Like sometimes if I'm like, if I hear someone say mom one more time, I'm gonna lose it,
Yeah, I
you
know.
know?
I
And
know.
sometimes it's hard for Mike to understand that. Like he's like, what's wrong with you? And then again, I feel like it's a me problem, but no, it's human nature to, if you hear that, like that's will drive you insane.
And I was telling Pri, who's my husband, the other day, I need to start doing more things outside of the house during the week because the dogs are also overstimulating. Like if
Yes.
I'm not picking up shit or because they pee on and poo on pee pads, I'm like wiping up pee because it like leaked off the side of the pee pad. They're barking because we get deliveries all day. Like working from home is also like an added, like I just before this recording started, I was putting dishes in the dishwasher and I unloaded. We got our factor meals today. So I'm unloading those. And I'm like, if I worked outside of the home, I would not be
It wouldn't be
dealing
your
with
responsibility.
trying to work, listening to dogs bark all the time, and then also trying to keep up with household things because I'm in the house.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's all those extra things that sometimes we don't make note of and realize, and then they add up.
Yeah.
And so I remember having a conversation with Mike when we were kind of in the depth of, three young kids, very young, so many things to do, businesses to run. And I had a conversation with him about the default parent. I heard the term. I was like, okay, it just clicked for me. I was like, oh my gosh, like this is exactly it. And if we can have a conversation about it, like then we can move forward together in like a positive way. And he was so defensive and upset about
Mm.
it when I first brought it up. Um, because it does, like, I think to him it came off as an attack, even though that's not how it was meant to be. I was like, no, it's the reality of this situation. Like it just is what it is, and nobody chose it. Nobody put this on me versus you. It's not that kind of thing, but we need to talk about it because we both need to understand in order to create like positive change in our family. So for people who are struggling, what do you suggest for an approach to having that conversation without feeling like the defensiveness or creating an argument?
Yeah. Okay. So I always say you need to actually sit and think about specific examples before you go to your partner. Like
Mm,
I knew that I was pissed off and I was like annoyed whenever he would get home from work and I couldn't figure out why. It's not like I immediately knew what was going on. I was just like this is bullshit.
hmm.
But I had to sit and think like what are the things that why is this an issue? And
Yeah.
then I started to think like okay, yeah, you're home with Milo all week. Then he comes home from work and he'll start making dinner. And so you're still just, watching Milo. And then Saturday morning rolls around and he starts cutting the grass. And, and a lot of the times I'm waiting for him to get home. Like I'm excited for him to get home to have adult interaction, especially in quarantine time.
Yes.
And then they come home and you're still not getting that because they go off to do productive things, but
Yeah.
it doesn't matter that it's productive. Like that's not what I need in the moment. And so when we would have conversations about these things, it was very specific situations. Like,
Mm,
on Saturday morning, Milo can just have toast for breakfast. Like, you don't have to make him a big pancake breakfast and be in the kitchen for an hour. Because all I want to do is have my coffee and like have a conversation with you because I've been watching a toddler all week.
yes.
And with you in the kitchen making pancakes for an hour and then cleaning up the kitchen. And now I'm still doing what I've been doing all week and there's no
Mm,
break in my job. Another example was like when he would get home from work. I was like, when you get home from work, can you just come sit with us and hang out and talk for like 15 minutes? And then from there, we can decide how the rest of the evening is going to go. Like maybe
mhm.
I'll make dinner and clean up the kitchen. You can occupy Milo, like take care of him. And then maybe I've been dying to organize my closet all week because I also think that's what ends up happening is your things that are on your to-do list don't get done.
No, they get pushed aside because everybody else's things take priority.
Yes, like cutting the grass. Do you swear on your podcast?
Yeah.
Fuck the grass. Like who cares? Like washing the cars? I'm sorry. No.
Yes.
You know?
Exactly. Like why? Yeah.
Yeah, and I remember I forget what book it's in, but the research shows men are always choosing to do tasks that are outside of the home. And
Correct.
when you have a small child, like right now, Milo will go outside and help him wash the cars. It's amazing.
Yes.
But at that age, it was not an option. It was a
Mhm.
nightmare to like have a kid that young while you're outside trying to do something.
Yeah.
Same goes with me trying to organize my closet with a young child around. Like it's
Yeah.
impossible. So
Yeah.
you need to take turns in like, okay, I really want to get this done. What's your priority, especially for the weekends? Like leading up to the weekends, it would be like, okay, what are some things that you want to get done? What
Mhm.
are some things we want to do together as a family? And then what are some things that I want to get done? So that
Totally.
everyone kind of has a turn, you know?
Yeah, and so it's a little bit more like fair. And
Yes.
I think I really like the idea that you're saying of like, come home, sit with me, talk to me for a little bit. And then, like, let's say these are the three things that need to get done tonight. Who wants to do which ones? Because if you've been with Milo all day, maybe you want a break and you want to go cut the grass. And
Yeah.
that's time to like think about something other than sitting in the four walls of your living room with your child that you haven't moved all day from.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Or maybe you do want to cook dinner, like those are things that sometimes I would feel like that would be like a luxury to be able to switch the scene up for myself. But my partner wouldn't really realize that unless I talked to them about it. They would come home, cook dinner, and think they were doing me a favor.
Exactly. Yeah. On paper, it looks great.
Yes.
But like,
Like the
what does each
intention.
person need in that moment? Like, it's a little check in. Maybe I had the absolute worst day in the world, or maybe I
Yeah.
had a great day and I'm
Mhm.
just, let's go for a walk. Let's do this, that. Like maybe he had a terrible day. Like
Mhm.
it's like a check in instead of just being a robot and doing the exact same things day in and day out.
And just assuming that maybe that's what your partner wants without asking or talking
Mm-hmm.
about it.
Yeah.
And I think, like you said, like a lot of the time it looks equal on paper. So it looks like everything is good and fine, but it doesn't feel right. Why do you think that so many moms end up being the default parent in a same sex marriage?
I think because of maternity leave. I think we're the ones that carry the baby. We're the ones that then give birth and then recover and are then home with the baby when our partners are most often working outside of the home.
Yeah.
I feel like nowadays it's starting, like, it's fairly common to hear about in heterosexual couples, like a man taking paternity leave.
Yes.
Before, I feel like that wasn't a thing. It also depends on your situation. Like, my husband is technically self employed. He does not get paternity leave,
Yeah. It's
So
just
I had
unpaid. Yeah.
Milo. Yeah. I had Milo on a Friday and he went to work on Monday. So
Yeah.
I feel like that sets us up to be the ones that are the most comfortable taking
Hmm.
care of a baby,
Yeah.
who are learning all the things. I think also, and I was just having a conversation about this the other day, we are the ones that are naturally caretakers. Like it's just in us to do that. And what comes with that is also independent learning with regard to taking care of kids, how to deal with tantrums, meltdowns, child nutrition. We take on all of that stuff. Like half of our Instagram accounts that we follow are probably parenting or motherhood related.
Yeah.
My husband's is definitely just sports. Do
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying? So, like,
Golf. Yeah.
just by nature, that is our interest. That is what we're taking on
True.
our own. And then part of the mental load is passing along that information to your partner.
Hmm. Yeah, and
So,
taking the time to do so. And I meant to say heterosexual, not same sex, but yes, I find a lot of the time too, what I found in my situation, because I was also self-employed, so I didn't really take like an actual maternity leave. I just decided like, okay, I'm gonna stay home for this amount of time, and then when I feel good about working, maybe I'll think about it, kind of thing. And I realize that's a privilege, like that's something that I'm lucky to be able to do. However, in doing that, I was taking on more roles inside of the house so that Mike could be able to help me when he came home, especially because it
mhm.
was twins. Like I needed an extra set of hands. I didn't have like it wasn't just one baby to hold. Like I needed two human beings to do a full feed for the kids. And so then I found that when I decided to go back to work and start taking on more there, the other roles that I had capacity for in the early days, I just held on to. Like
Yeah.
they were never redistributed. So like before
Yes.
kids, we had like a pretty equal split of who did what. Then I took on more because I was home more, and then I never gave them back.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I think that happens a lot because you're busy. Like children are busy, work is busy, life is busy, things get in the way, and then you don't have these conversations to continue to redistribute the load.
Uh-huh. Yeah, it's like I was home with the kids, but now I'm going back to work. So is it solely your job to get them in daycare and take them to daycare because your partner already has his day-to-day routine mapped out and good to go?
Yeah.
So now it's you that's changing your routine, but both have to change.
Yes.
Yeah.
And it's hard. It's really hard to make that change or to even realize. Like the first step for me was just even realizing like what was
Mhm.
happening. So what kind of boundaries have you maybe set into place or maybe are still even working on to shift that dynamic in your own house? Like how did you kind of get to be more like, okay, I'm realizing that I took on more, now I'm working more and I don't have capacity for this. How can we fix this?
Um, I feel like my husband is a unicorn in
He's
the
literally the
sense
best. I won't lie. I want to be married to Brie.
like sister wives.
Pretty
No,
much already.
he is an only child, but he also grew up in a household where when they first moved to Canada, his mom was the breadwinner person working outside the home, and his dad was doing all the caretaking.
Mm,
So he has seen, like, he has grown up with a mom who is like, you know, a boss bitch, and then his dad was home taking care of him. So to him, I don't think there's any block of doing household things or childcare things.
yeah.
It just comes naturally to him. He also lived on his own for a long time, like medical school, residency. So he did all the things like cleaning, cooking, laundry, and that just kind of continued once we moved in together. Though he didn't just stop doing those things,
Yeah.
he's
He was used to
always
it.
done them.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so to be like honest, we have a really good teamwork situation. Like when he's like, he knows most of the logistics when it comes to school stuff. Like today was like a specific uniform at the school, and he knew that and had the clothes laid out. Like I had no, because I don't see the emails. I have
Yeah.
my own like email hell to deal with, and I don't usually see the school emails. He does. Like he keeps on top of that, and he
Mhm.
puts everything in our calendar of like field trips, like whatever Milo might need. Like today they were doing something with fire trucks, so he had to have like water, like clothes that could be like get wet and all these things. Like I didn't know that. So like it just kind of like he just takes it on. Like I never had to sit there and be like, you need to do more. Like,
Yeah.
no, if he gets up before me, he's making Milo's lunch and he's doing that. And vice versa. If he has to leave early in the morning for his work schedule that day, I'm making lunch and I'm driving Milo to school. Like we literally pick up where the other person can't. And
Mhm.
neither of us is lazy. So it's
Yeah.
not like he's not going to do something just because he doesn't want to do it. If he can do it, he'll do it. And if I can do it, I'll do it. Like we're the kind of couple that will do things twice because, you know, like one, so many times Pri has already made lunch and then I go and make a lunch and he's like, I already made the lunch. I'm like, shit.
Now tomorrow's is made. Yeah.
Yeah. So like I wish like parents everywhere could kind of see how we operate. Like, yeah, it's not perfect.
Yeah.
And there's things that drive me crazy, but with regard to like parenting tasks or childcare household tasks, like we're pretty equal on those things.
That's incredible. And it's amazing that he can just do that. I think for people where it's difficult and where maybe their families didn't have that like equal division of labor or stepping up when someone's not able to, it is difficult to like bridge those conversations to make change. It doesn't feel natural to somebody if you've lived your life for so long doing things a certain way, but then it's not working. And I think we're lucky now to be part of a time where people are talking about it and
Mm-hmm.
people are raising awareness and saying like, no, if more women are in the workforce, then like we need some help at home too. And I think it's good to realize like what things you like to do and what things you don't like to do, because at the end of the day, all the things have to get done to run the
Yeah.
household. But there are certain tasks and things that I enjoy, and there are certain things and tasks that Mike enjoys more than me. And so when you can divide them in that way, I think it's helpful too, because then it doesn't seem so daunting or like boring.
Yeah. And I also think good enough is good enough.
Mhm.
That's a huge thing because I think a lot of
Huge.
moms have, like, they want things done their way and that's it. And I've kind of had to, like, let go of certain things. Like, we both do laundry all the time. Like, we always have laundry going. Do we put it away? No.
Yeah.
Maybe like once every 2 weeks. Like, I get dressed from the top of my dryer, like,
Yeah.
not my closet, because all the
Yeah.
clothes is on top of the dryer. And that's okay. Like, I'm not going to kill myself trying to do things that are not absolutely necessary.
And that nobody else is going to realize except you. Like, that's the
Yeah.
thing. You guys are wearing clean clothes. Like, who cares where you got them from?
Hmm.
And I think that's something I had to really realize, especially with the twins. They were our first babies. And I think we sometimes like really fantasize this world where we're a certain type of mom and our kids are always in matching clothes and look so cute and put together. And we always have a diaper bag that is neatly and organized and has everything that you need in it. And like that was the kind of mom I wanted to be. And I very quickly realized that was not the kind of family that we were going to have,
Hmm.
because it's impossible. And I would never be happy if I made it happen. And so I think also the type of personality I have is I like things done in a certain way, like you're saying. And I had to let go of that if I wanted the support from my spouse. Like
Hmm.
I was trying to explain to Mike, like in the early days, hey, I want help with this. It would be really helpful if you packed the diaper bag. And that would be one thing off of my mind when we're going out to a place. Like if you could do that and I can change the kids, then we'll have more efficiency. And then one time he packed the diaper bag, but like not the things that I wanted in it or not the right clothes or the right snack that I had hoped for. And I kind of got mad about it. And then I really realized quickly, like, no, if I'm asking him to do it, I don't get to ask him to do it in a certain way. Like then he
Hmm.
gets to do it his way and that's okay. Or when dressing the kids, like maybe they wouldn't be in the outfits I wanted them to be in, but were they clothed and comfortable? Yes. So
Yeah.
like who cares? But it's letting go of that control that is difficult, but also life changing.
Yes. And it is hard. And like, I'm better at it with some things than others. Like, if I don't like an outfit that he picked out for Milo, like, I will go change it, but I'm not going to say anything. I'm just going to
Yeah.
go do it
Yeah.
and give him different clothes. It's not a big deal. I specifically remember when he was a baby thinking, like, I'll never buy clothes that are not branded, but the clothes, basically everything that Milo wears today, like Spider-Man shirts and like this and that. I was like, I would
Hot
never
Wheels,
buy stuff like that. Now,
dinosaurs.
that's what I look for. Like, I'm like, because he loves those things so much, I'm like, it's like me. If I love something, I want the clothes of it. Like, I'm a
Yeah.
graphic t-shirt person.
Yes.
So if he's into Spider-Man, if he's into Minecraft, I'm like, let's buy all the branded clothes.
Yeah.
It's hilarious. And I remember thinking, like, no branded clothes. Like, I just want him to wear like nice
Neutrals.
outfits. Yeah.
Same.
Yeah.
I was
Okay,
the
Renee.
same. And I bought all of the neutral stuff. And now that they dress themselves, the kids, like they're picking like Spider-Man, dinosaurs,
Yeah.
like anything like that. And if I try, because sometimes I do, sometimes I'm like, let's wear our nice clothes today, Like I call them our church clothes. Like, let's just wear something that's not like in your face Spider-Man. And they'll be like, no, mom, the elementaries love this. And because the elementary school kids, like the older kids at their school, comment on their shirts.
Oh,
So I'm like, how can I tell them no? Like,
socialization, like
yeah,
the social
yeah,
aspect of it. That's
it's
so
important to
cute.
them in their little community. It's so
Oh
cool.
my God. I know. And here's Milo running around in a Stitch costume like 90% of the days. Yeah, no branded
He
clothes.
loves it. So
I
that's
know.
cool.
It's
Yeah,
so fun. And
I
like,
love it.
honestly, it brings other people joy too. Like, I
It
remember
does.
when he was in his Super Mario phase,
Yeah.
he was always wearing his Mario costume, like mustache and all. And we went to Canadian Tire one day, and like this man in the parking lot was just like so thrilled. And then this
Oh,
other guy who He was probably like in his 20s. He was like, I love Super Mario. Like, I love your costume, bud. Like, it was nice. It was
It's
nice.
so cool, and it probably amped Milo up. Like,
Oh,
he
yeah.
probably thought, "Wow, I am cool," you
Oh,
know?
yeah. He gets
I love
positive
that.
reinforcement for costumes all the time.
The
So,
best.
yeah.
I love it. Do you ever feel guilty about, like, not doing it all or being on t like, as I've let things go, then sometimes I feel well, not sometimes, a lot of the time, if I'm being honest, I feel, like, bad or guilty or like I'm not the best mom.
Yeah. I feel guilty about things all the time. And I don't know, guilty. I don't know. Like, I guess that's what it would be called. Like, I'm part of a mom group chat at Milo's school, and I know that they all do like a lot more academic things at home than we do. Like,
Mhm.
we don't. We recently started reading more because he's behind in reading. And so I like feel bad about that. I'm like I don't know, like there's certain things where I see what other people do and I'm like, well, we don't do that. But then at the same time, like, well, they don't do what we do. Like
That's the
we
har
have
yeah,
a lot of fun. Like we do a lot of things. We get a lot of really cool experiences.
yeah.
Like because he's an only child, like he has Pri and I's attention all the time. Like we're constantly like chatting and, making jokes. And I think it's easy for us to always think about what we're not doing, but start
Mhm.
thinking about what you do. And then you feel a lot better.
See, like, life-changing for me. I was feeling so guilty today because I didn't do drop off this morning. Like, why do I pressure they had fun with Mike, it's important for him to do it too, but, like, for some
Yes.
reason, I was like, "Oh, the other moms are gonna see I didn't drop them off today," and then, like, I just feel guilty or they were sad because they wanted me to drive them. Like,
Mm-hmm.
it's so silly, but you're right, like, I spent the morning with them. I got to cuddle in bed with them for, like, 20 minutes and have great conversation. Yesterday, I got to sit for almost a whole hour and build Lego with Axel. Like, those I baked cut like mini like healthy muffin cupcakes we call them
Yeah,
for them. Like, but I don't highlight those things. I just think of all the shit I'm not doing.
I know. I know.
Okay, we're back. We had a little bit of a shutdown there. So now it's the next day, but we're just
Yeah,
going to
the
get right
next
back into
day,
conversation.
my
Sorry
bed
about
is
that.
not made behind me at all.
I have no makeup on. My hair is up now, but
It's
it's
quite the
fun.
difference.
We're just doing it. We're making it work.
Yeah.
So I want to dive right back in to something that's actually like works well in this conversation now that we are like kind of a little bit frazzled now and trying to fit everything in. I feel like often that is my life, just trying to get everything done and feeling like I'm dropping every single ball.
Mm-hmm.
So, do you ever feel guilt about not doing it all?
Always. I just saw a reel. Do you know Gary V? I love him so
Yes,
much.
love
Okay,
him.
so he was answering a question about basically parents feeling guilt or regret about working or doing things that takes them away from being with their kids all the
Mhm.
time. And his answer was so good. I'm going to post it on the mom room. I like duetted it because I was
Mm.
like, people need to hear this message. And the way he delivers messages is very like to the point, like there's no sugar coating, like no bullshit. I love it so much.
Real
So,
raw. Yeah.
yes, I will post that. But he was basically saying, like, and Tanya Kotler, Dr. Tanya Kotler, she always talks about this too. Whenever she's talking about parenting, she's like, it's a feeling that you
Mm.
have. And so his whole point was, does your child like, do they feel like you care, like you're there, like you're a big part of their life? Like
Mm.
it's a feeling. And then he also made the comparison. Oh my God, this was genius. And I was so happy. Made the comparison of like, I have some friends who are home 24/7, but they're not actually present with their kids. So, and it's
Totally.
remember like the whole swimming lessons rant that I went
Yes.
on
I thought about you
about,
yesterday because we were at swimming lessons. The exact same thing.
yes, I
Yeah.
think about it all the time. It's like, it's almost better to not be there, be productive, do your work, do what you have to get done. And then the moments where you are with your kids to be present, as opposed
Yeah.
to being with them 24/7, but not being present. So I try and think about that a lot. Also, like it's quality over quantity. Like
Mm.
the moments that I am with Milo, I make sure we're talking, like I bring things up to him. I try and start conversations or whatever it might be, like that our time together is feels like it's quality time as opposed to I'm just physically there. So,
Yeah, it's
go ahead.
interesting to me that to think about our presence isn't actually what's necessary to be a good
Oh.
parent, but we feel like it is. Like, I feel guilty when I'm not home 24/7 with them, but I love how you're flipping the switch of being like, "Okay, but when I'm home, like, even if it's only an hour, it's an hour of full-on time with them. I'm not doing anything else, I'm not distracted by anything else. I'm leaving the dishes until they're asleep, like, I'm really focused on them." And
Mhm.
I think that does make a difference because one of the things that I heard online, it was probably a video or something, I don't know where I heard it, but somebody said the language we use is important with our kids. And so I focus a lot on language, what I'm saying, and again, like you're saying, how it makes them feel. And
Yeah.
so something that I say to my kids all the time now, I used to say, "Oh, you make mommy so happy." And somebody said, "Oh, that puts a lot of pressure on the kids to be like, oh, what I do impacts how
Affects
my
her.
mom
Yeah.
feels." And so instead, I say to them, "I feel so special when I get time with you."
Mm.
Instantly, my kids are like lighting up. Like Axel, especially, he's like my sensitive one. If I say, like, "I've had so much fun spending time with you today, I feel so special," he lights up and he's like, "I feel
Oh.
special too, mom." And so I think it's those moments that really show me that mindset shift of it's not how much time we have with them, it's what we're doing with the time that we do have.
And I feel like social media puts a lot of pressure on parents to feel guilt about everything. And I always have to check myself and be like, okay, does this really matter? No, it doesn't. Because
Yeah.
so many times I'm ruminating about something that really, at the end of the day, does not matter. And all it's doing, like all the guilt is doing, is preventing me from being able to enjoy whatever's happening. Like instead, I'm thinking
Yeah.
about, oh, what we should be doing, or oh, like thinking about that post I saw on screen time and now here we are watching a movie. You know what I mean? Like
Instead of just
it
enjoying the movie with your kid. Yes.
exactly. Oh my god, sometimes I wish I was more like my husband where he doesn't have those like nagging ruminating thoughts and I'm like, "Oh my god, it must be so nice to just be able to enjoy yourself all the time."
What is that like? Teach
Yeah.
me your way.
But I'm starting to get so much better and I always say when it comes to things like that, like looking at a macro perspective as opposed to focusing in on this one situation that just happened or a situation that you're currently in, because it's like, take a step back. Oh, okay. Everything's actually amazing and his life is amazing and he's the luckiest kid in the world. So let's
Yeah.
not stress that we're watching How to Train Your Dragon on
Yeah.
a Saturday afternoon, you know?
Totally. Because also that might be a memory that he is enjoying or like something that's special to him just because in our minds or because we saw online that like, oh, we shouldn't watch screens, that's a bad thing. Like it doesn't have to
Uh
be a
huh.
bad thing,
I
you
know.
know?
I think about this all the time, especially when it comes to screen time. Like, he's allowed to watch things for entertainment.
Yeah.
Why not? And especially like there's lots of chatter about YouTube and like, oh, YouTube is so terrible. But it's also the way you set boundaries around these things and how you do it in your house. So there's
Mm.
certain YouTube channels that we absolutely love and we will sit there and watch them and we're both so entertained. Like it's something that we do together, we enjoy, we're talking about what's going on, like they're building aquariums and we're learning about all kinds of things and I love it so
Mhm.
much. So I'm like, I'm not just going to be like no YouTube, there's no YouTube in this house. No, cuz we both love it.
Yeah, and it doesn't have to be so black and white because the other thing too to note is some of the YouTube channels that you watch, I have witnessed and seen you guys have watched something and then you do it in real life. So it's like a learning, teachable moment too. And then I see you guys having these cool activities of doing like trick shots and
Oh my
Milo's
God,
so
yes.
excited and like that's really cool too. He wouldn't know to do that if he hadn't have watched that.
Okay, so his thing right now, because we're obsessed with this, I think it's called aquarium info, or anyways, it's this girl. I love her videos so much. And she builds aquariums and ecosystems. And so all week, morning and night, Milo is asking us to get a pet axolotl. And I'm like, no, like we
A
are
pet
not
what?
axolotl. They're these underground, not underground, underwater. What did Pre call them? Amphibians. They're like little lizards, and they have the.
Oh my gosh, I've never heard of that in my life.
It's crazy. We saw one at the Vancouver Aquarium. They're very popular right now, axolotls, because this TikTok video
Whoa.
went viral about them. And I was like, never in my life did I think I would be struggling as a parent because their child won't stop asking for an axolotl. And I'm like, we're not marine biologists. Like, we couldn't keep fish alive. We're not getting an axolotl. And he's like, but why? It's like his new thing and he won't stop. So
Oh
I'm like,
my.
there is a downside to some YouTube videos too.
I guess, but look how cool, like teachable moments. So there are, I think like the overarching message here is like less pressure. Like enjoy what your kids
Mm,
want to do it with them when you can, and don't feel bad when you can't
hmm.
because they're always learning, you know?
Yeah, that's like his field trip tomorrow. I had to tell him today that we're like mommy and daddy won't be there because I know a lot of parents will be there. And then he always, I think, gets upset when we're not there and other parents are.
Yeah.
So I had to tell him that today. I was like, mommy and daddy have work things that we couldn't like reschedule. And, I'll see you after when you guys get back. And he seemed fine about it. But
That's
it's
good.
like one of those things. Like now I feel like shit about it, but it's out of my hands, really.
And he might not even be thinking about it, and
I
here
know.
you are like ruminating on I've had multiple conversations with you about this. It's something you've thought
Yes.
of a lot. And so it does go to show like that mom guilt lives in us. But we
Yes.
have to release it and look at the positives. Like how cool that you get to work a job that is allowing him to do these things and have these cool field trips and get these amazing experiences. And how incredible that he has other adults in his life, like his teachers and the other
Yeah.
parents that are going to go there, who can provide him learning and teachable moments and he can form relationships with. Because
Yeah.
I think it's important for kids to have adult relationships with people who are not their parents,
Yep.
you know? And to
Agree.
me, like, I had a babysitter when I was a kid who was like my second mom, and that
Mhm.
is a relationship that is so special to me that taught me so much. So why do I want to inhibit my kids from having that?
Mhm. No, totally.
Because I feel like
And
I should do it all? Like,
and it's
silly.
like Gary Vee said, like he's going to grow up and he's going to learn like not everybody can make every single appointment and game and recital and this and that, but when we are together, how do you feel? Like how does
Yeah.
this relationship feel? And Tanya always talks about that. Like when I stress about something, she's like, how does it feel to you though? Like what does it feel like?
Mhm.
And I'm like, "Oh my god, you're so right. Like everything's great."
Yeah. I really love that. And I love that it can translate to kids because often we think about our feelings and these like kind of abstract things to comprehend and we just like don't even talk about that to our
Mhm.
kids, but I've started to have those conversations with the twins especially, and it's so interesting to hear from them like their perspective and to talk through what they are feeling and what they want. What do they want to do, you
Yeah.
know?
I found this book at HomeSense called What Are Feelings? And it's a kid's book and it has the little pull down tabs where animals are having different feelings and it's like why do I feel this way? Like what should I do? It's really cool. So
I
it's called
actually think I have that book
yeah, What
from
Are
HomeSense.
Feelings?
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
And I read it with Callie often before bed too. And she's
Yeah,
only
it's
2,
good.
but it's so interesting because since it's animals, like they want to be interacting with the book, but that is a really good one. And there's so many good resources on feelings too.
Mhm.
And it's something I'm trying to teach my kids, but then as I'm reflecting, I'm like, "Oh, I should be doing this myself too."
Mhm.
You know, like it's a lesson that I should be learning also.
Yeah.
I want to ask you now that because Milo is 6 or 7, you
He'll be
said.
7.
So crazy.
I
So,
know.
how has your perspective changed on motherhood or evolved maybe since like becoming a mom and now being a mom of a child, not a toddler?
Yeah. It is I think everybody has stages of parenting that they like just agree with them more. And
Mm,
like some people had a really hard time during newborn phase, some people it's toddler. For me it was toddler. Newborn phase was totally fine. Toddler I struggled with. And now I feel like we're in this other stage that I absolutely love. Like I am obsessed with this
mm-hmm.
stage right now. But my toddler experience was also during quarantine. So it's hard to like really
So
gauge. It was
different.
such like an unknown random time for everybody.
Mm-hmm.
So that also added a layer of it being really difficult. But I feel like the things that I used to tell myself when I was in more of a difficult stage still apply. Like everything is temporary, you know?
Yeah.
And I think a lot of couples and moms and dads struggle when kids are small because they are so dependent on you.
Yeah.
It's it's a lot of work and it really like derails your life. And so I think people can kind of get I don't know, like not down in the dumps, but
Kind
just
of.
it's so hard.
Yeah.
And now I see like as kids become more independent, as they have full blown personalities and you're having conversations with them and you're able to now do things with them that you also enjoy.
Mm-hmm.
It's a totally different experience from having little kids to having older kids. Like it's a totally, so I can just imagine teenage years, when they're like
Yeah.
little adults and you're like, what the hell? Like,
Yeah.
yeah,
It's
it's
like you're a
wild.
real human being, like a real
Yeah.
functioning person in society. It is crazy to think of. But I do love the reminder that everything is temporary because when you're in it, it feels like it's forever. I remember
Hmm.
like not sleeping and looking at Mike and being like, I will never not be tired. And
Yeah.
he's like, you will sleep. Like eventually you will. But in the moment, it feels like it's never going to end.
Yeah. Yeah.
But that is a good piece of advice to remember and think. If you could go back to like your early postpartum days and tell yourself one thing, one piece of advice to like new moms now, what would it be?
To new moms, oh gosh, there's so much. Because I feel like when I had Milo, I was just like, what is this world? Like,
Yeah.
what is this world? I would say to do what works for you and
Mhm.
never mind what other people are doing. And again, going back to what Tanya always says, like, if it feels right for you, it's right. Like, it's
Mhm.
probably right.
Totally. I remember in the early postpartum days too, saying that messaging on my social media page of like your intuition is never wrong as a mom.
Hmm.
Trust your gut. Don't trust what other people say. Don't trust what Google says. Don't trust what your mom's friend's friend told them back in the day. Like there's so much advice and so much information out there, but if you really just like center yourself and think like what do I think? Like
Yeah.
what do I know about my kid? What do I know about me? It's usually right.
Yeah, and what's working for us and our family and our situation are everything. Like
Mhm.
everybody has such different situations
Yeah.
that what works for one person is not going to work for the next. And also, what is best practice is not necessarily best practice for you. And I feel like that term gets thrown around like this is the best possible thing. Well, no, it's not for
Yeah.
everybody.
Yeah. For the parent or for the kid. Like sometimes the parent thinks it's the
Yeah.
best and the kid doesn't react well to it or respond well to it or vice versa. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's good advice. Well, Renee, to end, I usually do rapid fires. Are you okay
Oh,
with that?
geez. Let's
Putting you
do
on the
it.
spot. Are you ready? Okay,
Mm-hmm.
coffee or tea?
Coffee.
Best Real Housewives franchise.
Oh my God.
I know.
Right now, I would say Miami.
I thought you'd
I
say
like
that.
Miami. Yeah.
You start binging a show tomorrow. What is it?
Real Housewives of Potomac because I'm trying to catch up.
Good one. And favorite part of motherhood?
Just knowing that you're a little human's safe space and like how much trust and love they have towards you, like even if they don't show it every day, like how adults would show love. Like it's just so cute, like thinking
It's just
that
really
we're
special.
his people, like we're his people.
That's
Yeah.
really, really special. I love that. Renee, where can people find you and connect with you?
Yeah, so Ariana and I have a podcast called Friend of, so you could catch us there. We do silly things. And I'm on Instagram at the Mom Room and also at the Renee Reina, and on TikTok at the Renee Reina. And then the podcast is the Mom Room Podcast, which is everywhere.
Amazing. Yay. Thank you so much for joining me.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Thank you so much for tuning into this episode of Your Cup of Joy. I hope you enjoyed today's conversation as much as I did. And if this episode resonated with you, or if you've been loving this show, I'd really appreciate it if you could take a moment to rate, review, and subscribe wherever you are listening. Your support helps the podcast grow, it helps it reach more people, and it means the absolute world to me. So keep filling your cup with joy, and I will see you next week.